Hello, everyone. So today we are going to do a book review, or I guess I'm going to do a book review. And the book is called Fix Fear by Sick Ill. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And of course, I will pop up the Amazon information should you want to order this. The author actually contacted me and asked me if I would do a book review on the book, and they did offer to send the book to me for free, which I thought was actually very nice. And I declined because I wanted my reaction to the book to be genuine. So I went ahead and ordered the book myself. Again, I ordered it off of Amazon. This seems to be a good book for this year because we are living in some crazy times, and the title, Fix Fear, just seems appropriate right now. So I'm just going to dive right in. One of the most important things the author says right off the bat is that this book is not a substitute for therapy. So I want to say that one more time. This book is not a substitute for therapy. The book is meant to be a 12-step plan in which you can browse the chapters and find the negative emotion that you are feeling at the time and read the fix for your cure. So it's a mix between self-help and affirmations, I would say. And the table of contents cover blame, envy, fear, helplessness, impatience/boredom, jealousy, pain, paranoia, rage/anger, self-pity, vengeance, and worry. And each chapter starts with a short story to set the mood. So I am going to read a little bit from the blame chapter, which is the first one, just so you can get an idea of the contents of this book. Okay. Corbin is on his way to work. He has two ways in which he travels, the short way and the long way. The long way consists of back roads, stop signs, and stoplights. The short way is the freeway, but is known to get clogged during his commute. Corbin wakes up late. His long trip will make him arrive just in time, his short trip 10 minutes early. He decides to take the freeway. He is driving peaceably on the road when an incompetent driver tailgates an unfortunate car. In rage, Corbin yells out the window at the driver, but his efforts are futile as this event starts a traffic jam. So that is a situation where someone, instead of taking personal responsibility and saying, I woke up late, maybe I should text or call my boss, instead is blaming. And in this case, it's the freeway because they're late to work. So within each chapter, there's an example and then there's a cure. So the cure for blaming is this. Blaming takes away value, so give value by using the appropriate praise. Enjoy and embrace someone's flaws instead of calling attention to them, and be praiseworthy. Tell them about what they are doing morally right. That is the highest form of praise. Superficial forms of praise are secondary, complimenting hair, clothes, cars, house. Do not blame yourself for other people's actions or let someone else's mistake ruin your day. Their error could have happened to anyone else, so why drag yourself down? And I actually think that that is a very good point. I think sometimes we are quick to put blame on something outside of our control because we know deep down inside that we did something wrong and we don't want to face up to it. And I like that there are either inspirational quotes or affirmations in each chapter of the book. So one of the quotes for blame is, a man can fail many times, but he isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else. And that quote is by John Burroughs. So I don't want to go through the whole thing because I don't want to give the book away. And even in this first one, I haven't talked about all of the contents of the first chapter. I just want to give you a little bit of a taste for what the book is like. So then we have envy. One day, quite near his birthday, June asked Julian to get Jacob breakfast. Lately, Jacob has been leaving the house early on the weekends to play soccer with his friends. His mother must have forgot. He stomps his feet. He knows with Julian gone, he will have to do all of today's chore work solely for the second day. Just as he starts to turn back, a gust of wind swings the door open. On the immediate shelf is the Chicago Cubs cap. Julian is the biggest Cubs fan. A look of sorrow falls on his face. It is so close to his birthday, and Jacob seems to be getting a gift of praise, and at present, it doesn't seem fair. Julian really wants this hat. He cannot control himself. He snatches the cap and quickly runs through the yard. He walks to a fresh puddle of water. With a swift pitch, it transforms to filth. Later this evening, Jacob arrives home with the soaking wet cap in his hands. His eyes are somewhat stretched. He apologizes for his absence and hands his mother the cap. Julian, satisfied, grins away and awaits the punishment. June walks to Julian and gently strokes his head. You just threw away your birthday gift. And that one's a little heavy. Whew. So in this example, we are talking about how envy can make you do things that aren't correct, aren't nice, and it doesn't matter if you think someone has something more than you. There is no reason to act on envy. You don't know how hard another person worked to be in the place that they're in. You don't know their struggles in life. So unless you've walked in their shoes, you don't get to act out in anger by ruining things, etc., etc. So the cure for envy: a person who is envious is confused on what it is to be happy. The individual must realize it is not through material or physical outside things that will create happiness. Uplift yourself about being grateful about the things you do own in the present, making the best use of it. I personally think envy belongs to children. I know that at times I do have, I struggle a little not to be envious here and there, but in reality, a lot of the things that we are envious about is something that's material. You can't take it with you. You just can't. That's the only way that I can say that. And I know I've had some times in my life where some of my things have been destroyed. And I actually think it was a good experience to go through because it makes you realize that you can't put all of your happiness on an object or a thing. Now, today, I would say my envy has changed, or I don't know if evolved, but I strive to be like certain people who, they're always cheery, they're always upbeat. They walk in a room, oh, there you are, not, oh, here I am. And so if anything, if I struggle with envy today, it's that I want to truly be somebody like that who always puts other people first instead of not necessarily myself, but just who is always thinking and not for 1 second thinks about me. Maybe that's taking it a little too far, but I would like to emulate people like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, those type of people who literally gave up everything they had, did a lot of charity work, etc., because I do believe in this life, we only get to the end by helping each other out. So one of the quotes for envy is, never underestimate the power of jealousy and the power of envy to destroy. Never underestimate that. And that quote is by Oliver Stone. So each of the chapters in this book has a story and it has a cure, and then it has quotes, or like I said, some of them feel a little bit to me like affirmations on what you can do to help yourself through the process if you are struggling with any of these issues. Now, I believe that I paid $14.95. I was looking if it said so on the back for this, and it is a little thin, and I would have liked to see a few more examples under each category for impatience, for paranoia, for pain. I would have liked to see more stories, truthful stories. A lot of us go through a similar experience. I don't think it's that far out there to think that you could talk to 3 people who had gone through something that was very painful, or where they were just enraged about something and what they did, to just kind of bulk this up a little bit more. I think this is a good book, and I actually think it would make a great stocking stuffer, or if you had a friend who was going through something hard. I do think this book with some flowers, this book with some chocolate, just to let them know that you're thinking about that. I can definitely see that. And while I may quibble a little bit on the price for what you get, I do like the writing style, and I do look forward to more books by Sick Ill or Demetrius C. Jackson on self-esteem, how to be a better person and not let things in life take you down to a baser level, and how to just keep yourself where you're uplifting others, where you can be emulated as a source of goodwill, where you're doing things for your neighbors, and where we put ourselves a little bit in the back seat and learn that sometimes it's not always just about us. So that is my review of Fix Fear by Sick Ill. Again, I will pop up some information on where you can order your copy. And again, I do think this would make a great stocking stuffer, or if you have a friend who is going through a difficult time. But as the author said, this does not substitute for therapy. And this is the truth, I do look forward to more work that this artist has to share with the world. My only advice to the author would be to bulk it up a little bit more, their next writing project. It is, when money is so tight right now, it is hard to consider spending around $14 to $15 on a book like this, just because it is such a quick read. But that doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to more work by this author, and I can't wait to see what else Demetria Seed Jackson does in their career. So that is it for this book review. I have several more books coming up that I will be discussing, including the Forever Babylon, Ending Babylon, Something Babylon, the book series that I'm doing by Chad Daybell. Those books are very easy to read. I actually, and I think I've said this before in another video, spend more time taking notes. And so sometimes it feels like a homework project, or, this report, and you're just like, does it ever end? I just want to be done. But I have 2 more books to go, and I am also on top of that, and I have a romance novel in the time of COVID and some other exciting things coming up as well. So thank you as always for watching my channel. If there is a book review you would like me to do, please drop it in the comments below. And thank you to Sick Ill for recommending this book. I have actually used several of the quotes in there and sent them to my friends who I know are struggling. And I am actually planning on getting another copy to put in a stocking this year. So stay safe out there, everybody, and I will see you soon.